Hello everybody, this is Carmen with Elemental Designs, and I wanted to bring to you something that I've been kind of playing around with, and I wanted to show you guys how to do it if you were interested in making your own kind of like planner stickers or just like regular stickers, but using address labels. What I have here to try out is the Avery number 5160. And this is the size of that label, and it brings 30 stickers per sheet, 30 labels per sheet. This is kind of what they look like. It's just a plain white sheet. Sorry for the angles, but I have my camera kind of propped up. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys how to go about doing these. I've been kind of playing around with them, and this is the ones that I've made so far. And I was able to get them to fit into the actual squares. So I wanted to show you guys how you can do your own. So as you can see in front of you, I have a grid here, and the program that I'm using is Apache OpenOffice. And Apache OpenOffice actually has a way of creating this grid, and it's a free software, by the way, and it's not that big either. It's about 130 something megabytes. It's not that big, but what you can do to create this grid, I'm just going to show you real quick. As you go here and you go to new, and then here they have what is called labels, and then you just kind of click that, right? And when it comes to your labels, you're going to have options here in the bottom. You're going to see where it says Avery, and they have a few other brands, but you're going to see where it says Avery, and then you just want to choose the one that says letter size. And then you just want to go through the selection in the bottom and pick the number that you're using. And you're going to want to pick 5160, which is the number that I'm using. If I can find it here. I know I passed it. Here it is. 5160, which is the address, right? So it brings up the dimensions of what it is. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to go to your format. Now when it comes to your format, you want to go to this top margin and you want to drop it down to 0. Okay, you don't want any top margin on this paper, because as you notice, your labels don't have well, at least these labels don't have that ring, you know, that margin, that border of sticker sheet around it. It's just straight sticker from the very top to the very bottom. So you don't want that border, so that your dimensions are actually good. I've already done that here with the one in the background, so there's no need for me to go ahead and customize this. I just wanted to show you which is an option you can do for that. They also have one for WordPad. If you guys want to see how to make them on WordPad, then just let me know and I'll create a tutorial for that. But I just found the Apache OpenOffice to be just a little bit easier to work with when it comes to creating the grid, number one, number two, inserting and measuring, and putting your stickers in there. So as you can see, I have 3 stickers here. I have 3 images here that I've already positioned into size. And what I want to do is I want to go to the next one. If you already have images, is great. If you don't have any images as yet, let me just get out of my page real quick. And let me just kind of show you. Okay, you can go to your Google and just kind of search for any kind of patterns that you want, or if you want to search for quotes or anything like that, anything that is free to use, you can go ahead and do so, and you can just more or less choose for these kind of patterns. Now what I do want to mention is we have square patterns and we have rectangle. We have square images and rectangle images. You can go for either image, okay? The only difference is going to be the size. Now if you go ahead and you choose either a vertical image or a square image, then for the square images that is just, you know, patterns, you're okay. You can just stretch out that pattern if you want, or you can add multiple images in one square and fill up your square that way. That's not a problem. But let's say you have a vertical image. Now the vertical images, you're going to have to shrink them down, okay? You're going to have to bring them down to size in order for you to be able to use them, and then you're going to have to put a couple of them in each, you know, in each label, if you will, to make it work. Otherwise, what I do recommend is that you go for the rectangular images, okay? Be them quotes, cartoons, whatever the case may be. Like I've used, let me just show you real quick. I've used Garfield quotes. And I'm going to show you the differences between the two images when I put them into the squares. For this one, I have, you can choose something that is like this and then just fill in your square, which is easy. If you want to choose something like this, then you can choose various smaller images and just kind of put them in a row consecutively to one another. I've already downloaded some, so I'm not going to go through that step here. If you guys, want to see that, then let me know, and then I'll do a more fuller in-depth tutorial with each step by step that I went through. So moving on to the labels. I have these three that I've already positioned here, and I'm just going to go into this next box in the bottom. So I just clicked it, and what I'm going to do is I click on the box that I'm going to use next, and I'm going to go into insert. Now mind you, again, I'm using OpenOffice to do this. I'm going to go to insert, okay? When I hit insert, I am going to go into the pictures from file. I already have my little folder set up with images that that I've been working with and that I've been using. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this mermaid one here. And you're going to see that the image itself is going to be larger than the boxes that you need. What I like about OpenOffice is that the markers for you to resize are very bold and you can actually see them. So it makes it a lot easier to shrink, and automatically the width of the image is more or less there. It won't go outside of that box. So all you have to do is just bring that bottom tab up and resize it that way, okay? If you want to use more, if you want more of this one image, then all you have to do is go to it, copy it, go to your next box and paste it, okay? Go to your next box and paste it, and you can do this for the whole sheet. You can do this for one row, etc., etc., etc. So that's how that kind of works. So if you want to go, I'm going to choose now the next row over. If you want to say add, I keep doing that, I'm so used to the right clicking. If you want to add a smaller image, so we're going to go back into the pictures from file, okay, and we're going to click that open. And I'm going to go for a smaller image. So I have here, let's see, let's go for this Garfield one right here that is a vertical, it's a vertical image, right? So automatically you see that he is way larger than I need him to be, right? So I'm going to go ahead and bring him up to that first margin, right? That first border. I'm going to squeeze him in a little bit, and I'm going to bring him over. And then I'm going to paste him. I'm going to right click over him, copy him, because I already have the size I want, and then I'm going to go over and I'm going to paste it. They're going to paste one over the other, so what you want to do is you just want to, click on that image. Once you click paste, click on the same image and just drag it over, and then you'll have it there. And then you could adjust him as well if you want. You can adjust the size to make him bigger, smaller, however you would like. If you want to make, like, let's say a washi type, then you can make him really, really tiny and just, paste him in there as many times as you can. And that'll work out that way as well. So if you want to do this, over again, just right click, copy, go to the next box and paste. Go to the next, hit paste again, and then you're going to get two images. Let me do that. Over, there we go. And then you're going to get your two images, okay? So you can do that as many times as you want. Went to the next box. I unclicked the box, I clicked out of the box, I clicked next to it, and then I went ahead and I hit paste again, and it kind of stacked them, which is kind of what this does. So that's an option for you. If you want to go ahead, I'm going to click on the next box over, and then I'm going to print them out and show you what it looks like once it's all printed. You go back to your insert, you go to your picture from file, okay, and let's say we want, let me see if I can find one. Like, I'm going to choose this mermaid pattern. And you want it to be continuous, right? You can choose, stretch out that image as much as you want, and then what is going to happen is it's going to divide it amongst those three, and then you can just leave them that big, and then you just, stick your stickers one over the other, sorry about the phone. You can stick them one over the other until you have your pattern. So now that I've showed you these you know, ways of doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna print this so that I can show you what it looks like. And I'm just gonna insert my blank page. And the printer that I use is a Canon Photo Smart. I'll tell you what number it is now, because that number is, so I'm going to go to print, and sorry about all the phone noises. I'm going to go to print, and then I'm going to use my Canon Photo Smart, and I have the C4400 series, which I love. I love this printer. It prints so beautifully. And what we want to do is we want to hit all pages. Okay, because for some reason it sees them as individual pages, each pattern, so that I have all of them. Now that I have all of them, I'm going to go ahead and hit print, and let's see what happens. I've done this with WordPad using a template, because WordPad does not have the option to choose Avery, which is why I was looking for another, you know, free software alternative. And I found this one, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. So if you don't have, you know, or if you want something that's a little bit more advanced than the WordPad, I would suggest that you go for the OpenOffice. It's free and it's safe, and there's many templates that you can download, and there's many things that you can do with it. So let's see if I can show you. So as you can see, it printed out the whole pattern. So when you go to use your stickers, you just have to kind of remove them. And sorry about the way this looks, and sorry about my nails. But you can just remove them, you know, as is. Trim off any excess that you need, and that'll work that way. I don't think I got the alignment properly on my other ones, but I'll have to work on that. I'll have to work on that a little bit. But just to show you, because I did print this one successfully. This is one that's from Alice, and you can more or less see it does have some border to it, but it did print off rather well. You do have to kind of play with this a little bit to get the right size. So I would not suggest that you just go right in and put your address labels in it until you have printed out a test page, and see where your alignment falls, and see if you have to make any adjustments. Like I still have to make a few adjustments to this one so far, because I did remove the top border. So right now my alignment is coming off just a little bit. This one worked well for pattern paper. So if you want to just make like a sheet of patterns, that's fine. But this one, for example, did come off just a little bit. The angles came off just a little bit, and I'm wondering if it's maybe because I made these images too large. So I'm just going to shrink these down just a smidge. And then I'm going to bring all of these down just a little bit and make them a little smaller. And I'm going to put them like right in the middle. I'm bringing these down right to the middle just to see if there's any difference in how it prints out. So I'm just clicking all above them and below them just to kind of bring them out just a little bit. Okay. And see if that makes a difference. I just started playing with this, so if once I get a little bit better at doing it, then I'll let you guys know. But I figured you might want to play around and test some of these things out. So you can start creating your own, you know, stickers. Because I know that for me, finding these boxes of labels is, you know, fairly easy. I find them all the time in the thrift stores, usually for like $1, $2, or $3. And sometimes I pass up on them because I don't know what to do with them, and I don't want to always have to be printing labels and stuff. So I'm just gonna move this down just a smidge from the top. And I'm going to go ahead and print it again just to see what happens. So I'm going to just use the bottom portion of this paper, the same sticker sheet that I used originally. Like I'm going to mark this down as A. just so that I can see, I'm gonna put this A right here. So I'm gonna put this down as an A just to see what happens when I print out the second part. Now that I've adjusted the picture a little bit, I'm still getting the kinks ironed out, but like I said, I just wanted to come on here and show you guys, even though it's not perfect as yet, because I just downloaded this OpenOffice, and I just found it to be easier to work with, so I'm still trying to work everything out. I was doing them on Word, but they all have their kinks, because anytime you're working with a grid, you're going to have a little bit of an issue when it comes to the alignment. And since I'm not using them for words, I'm using them more for images, you know, you do kind of have to play with it just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and print this and just see how this works out. But yeah, either way, I still wanted to show you guys, because I figure you might be able to, you know, work with it a little bit on your own free time and just play with the, you know, with the size and stuff of your images within your square. Right now what I did is, like I said, I just kind of centered them more in the center and kind of left some border on top and below, just to see how that works out as far as the alignment itself. Maybe that'll help with getting them properly. And yes, that did the trick. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to show you that definitely did the trick. So we had our A side, and what happened with our A side is that because of my alignment, because my alignment was off, as you can see, I'm kind of cutting her off at the head, and that kind of happened for all of them. It doesn't matter so much for the pattern paper, because at the end of the day it's just patterns, so you can cut those off, you know, you'll be fine with those. This is the other side, and so I'm gonna rip off this center sticker, and as you can see, the alignment came out perfect. So voila, we have success. I'm just going to stick this on the back here so you guys can see how good that came out. So perfect, the whole image is there. We have a little bit of the border from the pattern paper, which is fine. That's not a big deal. You can cut that off. I'm going to go ahead and remove this mermaid one, which, as you know, the original one that I printed was cut to size. This is why I wanted to do this way, because I figured anything that I do wrong, you guys might be able to do better. But it looks like with putting them in the center of the square, and then just kind of dropping them down a little bit from the top margin and the bottom margin, actually does the trick. And then I was able to get the whole image. Sorry about that. I was able to get the whole image without it being cut through. And I'll show you another one here. These are the top ones, and the top one is really the issue. Because if everything from the top goes good, then everything from the bottom goes good as well. So here's another top one, and the whole image came out. All the words are there, so you can see. Yeah, we have some white border around it, but that's easy to repair. I mean, you could just cut that off with a scissor, however you want to do that. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys. So don't go throwing away your labels, and if you see them in thrifty stores, then go ahead and purchase them, because now you have something besides addresses that you can do with them. And the OpenOffice is a free program that you can download. And as far as your ink for your printer, there's very inexpensive alternatives to the same ink that your printer takes right on eBay. I know I pay for my PhotoSmart, I pay, I think it's like $5.50, and I get the ink replacement with the 2 cartridges, and that's for the 2 cartridges, the black and the color, for $5 and some change, and free shipping. So depending on what printer you have, go to eBay, search up for those. Now, they're not going to be the name brand, but they're going to be compatible. As long as you know your printer number and you know the ink cartridge number that you need, you should be able to find it. Just hit lowest with shipping first, so that the lowest prices come up first, and you should be fine with replacing your inks, and you could just go ham making some stickers. So I will show you guys, as I create more and I get a little bit better at what I'm doing, I'll show you guys what I'm doing, and I might even have like some free samples and downloads that I'll be able to put up on my website for you guys to be able to use and print and download and stuff. So yeah, let me just get my bearings together with this whole thing. But I wanted to show you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. And I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, if you will, of what to do and what not to do. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.